Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This morning, we're going to talk about contentment, how we should learn to be content. And I don't want to mistake contentment with ambition because sometimes, people are content with what they have when there is opportunity for growth and you don't know that you can grow in your finances, you can grow in your job, you can grow in your relationship. And I don't want us to mistake contentment for not wanting to climb higher. So, take that out of your mind when we go through the scripture. I'm going to be reading from First Timothy chapter 6. I'm reading from verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we cannot carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therefore therewith content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. And I'm gonna start and go back now. For verse 10 talks about the love of money. A lot of people will misquote the scripture, money is the root of all evil. No, it's the love of money. You love money so much that you will cheat, you will steal, you will scam, and you'd be dishonest about it. The love of money, you'll cheat on your timesheet. It's the love of money. So it's good to be honest. We're not talking about that you don't need money. We need money to survive. We need money to put food on our table. We need money to put gas in the car. We need money to, if you take the bus or the train to work, you need money for that, because if you don't have money, you can't gain money. And that is the truth. You can't just wake up out of nothing. Yes, some stories you can hear. I don't know if you remember that movie with starring Will Smith. I can't remember the name of it right now. But that movie, he and his son they had nothing. They had nowhere to go. And, he had an interview and so forth. If you know, I'll put the name of the movie on the screen. But we need money and we need it to survive. But in the sense that when you love money so much that it's going to hurt others, that's when you have to take a step back. So we're talking about content. We're talking about learning to be content. And sometimes we see our neighbors with things and we want what the neighbor have. We covet what the neighbor has. We covet what a family member has. And then because you want to be a step higher than that person, you go out of your way to acquire these things. You live in a nice neighborhood, a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom house, and it's good. Your bills are being paid, but then you see someone who you think you should have been better off than that person. You said, oh, they moved into that neighborhood, what about me? And what you would try to do is you would try to get another house and move into a better neighborhood, when sometimes we climb too high, and then when we climb too high, we find ourselves in trouble. I remember once on an airplane and coming from Jamaica, And Jamaica flight is supposed to take 3.5 hours. Well, the flight was so delayed, like almost 12 hours delayed. There was problem with the aircraft, so they had to get another plane. When they got another plane, we left at midnight. And one of the things that the captain said, you know, we're supposed to be there in 3.5 hours. We'll get you there in 2.5 hours. Well, I know he wasn't driving the Concordian, because we were not on the Concorde. We were not on that plane. So, you know, and he was like having so much fun. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go a little bit higher, you know, so that we can go a little bit faster. And, you know, I'm not good on airplane, but when he kept going up and up and up, and he's like, okay, we're going up a little higher, more than the whatever the allotted feet is in the sky. And all of a sudden, a terrible turbulence just hit the plane. And he said he wasn't expecting that. Oh, he came back on and he said, I wasn't expecting that, you know, so I'm going to go back down to my level. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes we try to get so high and we hit bumps because we are not content with what the Lord allows us to have with so many things, you know. Sometimes, you know, even a car. It's okay to drive a Toyota Corolla. It's okay to drive a Honda. It's okay to drive a Ford. But because we see our neighbor in a Mercedes-Benz, we want to go and get a Jaguar. And later on in life, you said, oh, you see them driving another car. And you ask them, oh, what happened to your Jaguar? Oh, it was giving a lot of trouble, so I just turned it in. No, you didn't turn it in. The repo man came to get it. So what I'm trying to say is, be content with what the Lord has given you. And if the Lord sees it fit for you to go higher, be sure go higher. It's okay to have faith, because faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. It's okay to want to reach higher, but sometimes we have to be content. So before you make a move, before you make that drastic move, seek the Lord advice and be content. As I said, the scripture in verse 6 says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. When you are godly and you are content, it's a gain. It's something that, you know, don't put more on your plate that you cannot handle. Sometimes we put too much, and I myself, you know, I'm speaking to myself now. Sometimes we put too much on our plate because we believe we're super woman and we can handle everything and anything. But be content and leave room for the Lord. Leave room for the Lord. If you buy a very expensive car, you're going to have to take a part-time job to pay the insurance and to pay for the car, and there's no room for the Lord. That's not being content. Okay? So I pray that this message will help somebody, and thank you for listening. And as always, please help my channel grow. Please like, share, and subscribe. And tell somebody about this channel. Tell somebody that this channel can grow. God bless you.